And we're back. So, after finishing off and resolving that situation with the druids last time around, and let me just boast a little and say, yes, I was fucking right, it was goddamn shadow druids. Now, we have to deal with the next part of the situation that we've got going on here. And deal with these genies who are outside here in one of these tents. So what I'm actually planning on doing is I'll stop by and talk to them and see if I can't get a better grasp on what the problem is from them, because they are apparently looking for someone. So I'm going to ask for more information about that, and then the plan is to just sort of wander around Trademeet and do a bit of shopping, I think. Because they'll have some stores and the like that I don't currently have access to. Or, not that I don't currently have access to. They'll have some shops and stuff that we haven't been to yet, and I just kind of like to check that out. Plus, we did immediately go into doing the druid part of things because that felt more urgent. So I'll want to pop around the actual city itself and just have a look around. So hit some of the major landmarks, maybe. The smithy, people's homes, the crypt and the like, and just see if there's any other interesting quests in the area.
Something you need? Of course.
So let's head on in. Caravan merchant, eh? And the caravan driver.
You'll find no better prices in Arm. I guarantee it.
I'd sell you some of the goods, but there'd be none to sell. The genies keep magicking Rafi into selling them everything we have. Well, they're gone, we can't sell anything. So this is just a bog standard merchant. Not one of the genies. So, on to the next tent, I suppose. Oh, this one actually has a genie standing outside the door. This is rather interesting. I didn't know genies in Baldur's Gate could act as merchants too, because the only genie Toby has ever met was that one that we freed from magical imprisonment in Irenicus's place, underground. So it's not like we know a whole lot about them. Haha! You are a strange one, mortal. You are male, are you not? I have not seen many of your kind. Okay then, I guess he's just basically a security guard, or the like. That's as much as I've been able to get out of that. Kanzara. Well, this one has the fancier name, so we're going to talk to him.
Greetings to you, wayfarer. I am Kanzara of Kalimshan, a Dao Jin, at your service.
Yes, I'm not familiar with Dao Jin. What exactly are you? The clans of Jin are beyond the ken of most mortals, this I understand. It is a complicated thing, wayfarer. Suffice it to say, I am a Jin of the family Dao, yes? Okay, I suppose that works. Now, what would Kalimshite genies be doing here in Trademeet? We know what they're doing here, but Toby's just gonna play dumb in the hopes that they might go off the assumption we're new and tell us something more. Yes, this does beg a question, mortal, does it not? The Dao would not normally choose to make such a place our home, even temporarily, indeed. Suffice it to say that we have come on a surface, hunting a criminal of some repute from Kalimshan, a Rakshai by the name of Itafar. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Probably not, in fact. Rakshasa, of which the Rakshasi are females, if you have never encountered them, are devious shapeshifters and thieves. We have followed this particular prey for quite some time, and she has eluded us at every turn. We've grown tired of this chase. We know that Ifir lies hiding in this area in mortal form, and so the Dao have taken over the trade of this town. We Dao buy all that comes here, you see, and charge prices too high for the mortals to afford, and we will not relinquish it until the mortals find this Rakshasi for us. I don't know why those words are so hard for me to say. They're a little weird, I suppose. Eventually they shall run out of food and such and become desperate enough to do it. Or not. Regardless, the hunt is taxing and... The hunt is less taxing, rather, and far more amusing this way, don't you agree? Well... Based on what that merchant lady and Lord Logan told us, it doesn't sound like these genies are going to be inclined to stop just because we ask nicely, so Toby really only sees one solution. We will have to find this criminal for them. What would you say if I found this Rakshasa for you? Would you be willing to leave then? And stop this idiotic trade disruption? I would say, mortal, that I wish the head of this Rakshasi returned to me, and once that was done, despite the amusements we have found here, the Dao would return to Kalimshan. Do you have any idea where the Rakshasa might be? I can't exactly take somewhere near here as a starting point very easily, now can I? If we knew where she was, we would go and collect her, yes? As a shape changer, I am sure she hides in the form of yet another tiresome mortal. It is a tactic her kind often use. It is doubtful that she and her companions actually reside in the town itself. The appetites and predilections of the Rakshasa would not keep her hidden among you for long. We are sure she is somewhere in the area, perhaps hidden and preying secretly upon you mortals, as the Rakshasa do. But who knows really, she could be anywhere. Why, little mortal, do you intend to bring that lady's head to us and our stay in this dreary little place? We look forward to a mortal finally ending this business. Very well. I will attempt to find her and bring her head back to you. If it means you leave Trademeet. It is agreed. The Dao wish you well on your hunt, and await eagerly the sight of her head. I'm honestly not even going to try and pronounce that name. I've fucked it up so many times.
You return to the Dao, mortal, and yet I do not sense the head of the Rakshasa interfere in your possession. Have you perhaps changed your mind?
Nah, I just want to do some shopping, actually. We will sell what we can to them. That ring of human influence can bugger off. We have no need for it. Yoshimo's katana also. We don't want to keep any of Yoshi's stuff. No need for that at all. Airy. Sell those couple. Cloak of the Sewers, how about not? Wait a second. Nadia, let's see if she can't learn any of these spells before I go and sell them. Vampiric Touch you already have, so that's getting sold. Enchanted Weapon, sure. Staff of Thunder and Lightning. We'll have Jahira hang on to that for extreme situations. Speaking of Nalia, can you ID this hammer for me? Warhammer +2. No one in the group uses Warhammers, so I'm going to sell that. We're also going to give Nalia all of the magic scrolls that we've currently got in our scroll case. And sell the ones that she can't learn, basically. Identify is getting sold because she already knows how to identify. And that petrification thing is not a spell, it's just a one-use scroll, so that is getting bloody sold. Magic missile, same deal. And apologies to anyone who finds inventory management in this game to be boring, but I actually, and this may make me slightly weird, but I actually enjoy the inventory management system. I find it fun. Which admittedly is probably a little bit bizarre. Apparently protection from petrification can be learned like that. Huh. So yeah, we're gonna go through this and have Nalia learn what spells we can. Then the others will get sold to these people. That raised dead is a scroll, though. We had a scroll of identify we used up identifying that, but all those are getting sold. Let's see here. And this magic +2 short sword that we've got Minsk holding onto, that we're keeping for Imoen when we finally rescue her. Because I'm presuming that Imoen will be a party member, so we want her to have a sword of some sort. Alright, now we're going to head out of Trademeet, and we're going to be returning to the Druid Grove, actually. Shockingly enough. You might not expect that. But there was a house that we passed at one point. Entrance to Adratha's cottage, and we passed by this place during my adventuring in this grove, and well, we didn't actually go in there, so I don't know what's inside, but I decided I wanted to check up on it and just see if perhaps this druid criminal, this genie criminal, I'm just gonna call her, seeing as I can't bloody pronounce her name. I suspect she might be in there, seeing as that is an as of yet unexplored location.
Yes.
And we're gonna poke our heads into here. And this is a Drathy
Just as I
woman
thought.
standing
Rest will be
around.
welcome, lest we endanger ourselves.
But before I speak to her, I'm going to essentially loot her possessions.
Where Minsk goes, evil stands
Apparently
aside.
she doesn't mind all that much, the fact that we're looting her stuff. Well, if you're fine with me taking all your worldly possessions, then I'm not going to complain about that. And now, let's spread our healing potions out among the party if we can, I think. To a degree, anyhow.
Something you need.
Onward then.
Ready
Alright.
and able.
To the task at hand.
Now, if this woman is actually who we're looking for,
Yes.
we want to be ready.
As you will.
Alright, so
Swords! No, jump on my
let's
sword
get
while you
everyone
can, evil.
spread out
I won't be as gentle.
Very well.
so that we can hopefully react
How can I
fast
help?
enough.
I
And
will do what I can.
Nalia I need in the back here. Time for Nalia to make use of some of her magic arrows. Give her some of those. There we go. Ari, you can hold on to that. Actually, I should probably have Nalia carrying all of the arrows. It's just a pity that I can't infinite stack items like I could in my Baldur's Gate 1 playthrough. Though I'm fairly certain that was modded. I may have to look at how I've got the tweak pack installed and see if I can't change that up to make myself able to infinite stack things. Because that would certainly make things easier when it comes to carrying stuff.
Nature's servant away. It is done.
Okay.
Yes?
And
Faster than
then
take a fast pause.
Ari can stay back here. I really need to get Ari a proper robe from somewhere, but I've not seen any in any stores or anything. Like a mage's robe, I mean. May have to Google where I get those from. Who knows?
Of course.
Hello, mysterious lady who
Why,
may
you're all
or
such
not
middlemen.
be a genie criminal. You have the stench of those filthy jinn about you. I know what you have come for. You are fools. We will devour you. How about you don't?
I shall go
And
forth
just
at your
die
I
instead?
await your need. I am willing.
I would be fine with that.
No effect.
Live by the sword. Live a good. Go for the eyes. Go for the eyes.
This weapon has no effect.
Okay, let's kill her fast, and then we can move on to her friends. Okay, she's down. Now deal with Jalal. Hurry up. Come on. That's another one down. Go, go, go. Sadal, you can die as well. And that's a wrap.
Whatever I can
That is a wrap. Toby, you can now continue the process of passing out potions to people who will need them. So that's about 2/3 of the party who has their potions now. I'm gonna need to get some for Nalia and Eri, though. They're certainly lacking in the potions department. But now we can safely loot their bodies. An amulet that needs identifying. Her head, and isn't that some gruesome shit? But it'll get the genies to leave us the fuck alone, so
Rest would be
go
welcome,
for it.
lest we endanger ourselves.
A quarterstaff that needs to be ID'd. And no, that's everything. So we're
Ready,
done here.
Of course.
We're done here now. Parry off of proof against poison. That's a hell of a name. But it'll let us cure poison once per day. So I'm not going to have anyone wear that necklace, but I do think I'll hold on to it for the time being. This quarterstaff, on the other hand, if you could identify it, Nalia. No, you'll need to rest first.
Yes.
And then you can possibly identify it. And now,
Onward then.
8 hours later, we have her head. So, let's go visit the genies. And give them the good news.
To the task at hand.
Oh, I sense that you possess the head of our little Itafir with you as agreed. Astounding, even for a mortal.
Itafir, so that's how you say it. You pronounce the H as a T. Honestly, who would have guessed that, really? That is the most bizarre pronunciation I have ever heard of anything, pretty much. With the exception of King Empire being pronounced as Qing Empire. Those of you who've watched my old Darkest Hour Let's Play of the Qing Empire and Kaiserreich will get the reference. Here then is a scimitar that you may find useful. It has been mine own for some time, but I am sure I shall find another. Use it well, Wayfarer. As for you, my little Itafir, you've been a very naughty creature, eluding us as you have. What a brave mortal to bring you to us. Come then, my Dao, we shall return to Kalimshan and fulfill our service. And you, mortal, you may tell your patrons that their town is free of our little terror. Yes, we shall not return. Which also means we no longer have access to those merchants, but I bought everything I was going to want from them, which was nothing, by the way.
Of course.
So yes. And we gained a bunch of expa from that. So I think the next thing to do should be to visit the mayor and the guild mistress and let them know of the good news. They did hire us after all, so it's only right we let them know. Plus, I think in the back of his mind, Toby is kind of hoping that we'll get a decent payment for our efforts, even if we didn't ask about such.
I wouldn't dream of refusing. Something you need?
So let's see.
Whatever I can do
So,
to
have
help.
the Jinn been dealt with? Have you been successful?
Yes, I found the Rakshasha the Dao we're looking for, and they have agreed to leave. Ah, so it is done. And you have found the peaceful solution as well. That means we do not have to fear a visit by more of their kind. Your good reputation is well deserved, I think. You have the sincere thanks of Trademeet's merchants, and I am sure all of its citizens. Here is the reward I promised you. You should go and find Lord Logan, I think, and tell him of your deed. No doubt he will be overjoyed to hear of it. You have earned a hero's welcome here in Trademeet, my lord. I myself have much to do at the moment. The caravans must be contacted and brought in immediately to give us the supplies we need. Thank you once again. And we gained a bunch of items and 7,500 gold. Apparently. Nice. The scimitar was from the djinn, though. Small shield. Nalia, can you ID that for me? Not until you rest and have your identify spell again.
Ready
But
and
let's
just name
go
what you want.
tell Lord Logan. And 7,500 gold. No small amount, to be sure, so Toby is just basically grinning from ear to ear at the reward we managed to get off of that.
Greetings once again.
Ah, you have returned. Have you dealt with the genies yet, Toby? Yes, I have. I found this person they were looking for and brought her head to them. They've decided to leave now. Excellent news. What a wonder you are. You have come into our town and delivered us from what I had thought to be insurmountable problems. I trust the guild mistress showered you with rewards, and if not, she should. I, for one, think it is high time to give you the hero's welcome you deserve. And it is cutscene time,
Citizens
apparently.
of Trademeet, we are gathered here today to honor the heroes of our small town.
Led by the Lord Toby.
They have not only stopped the assault of nature upon us by removing the evil druid that had taken over our local grove, but have also spared us from the recent domination of the genies. You are once again free to walk the streets of Trademeet, and new caravans have already been hired to bring supplies to our local merchants. It is good to know that even though we do not have our beloved Joaquin looking out for us, we still have people like this who we can turn to in a time of need. From this day forth, I declare that these companions be known as the heroes of Trademeet.
Their likeness shall be displayed on the fountain forevermore. Oh yes. Heroes of Trademeet and heroes of Baldur's Gate. I'm not gonna deny, Toby got more than a little bit of an ego boost from hearing that. He really did.
Bravo! Bravo!
Here, here!
You have saved us all!
Oh yes, most excellent work, hero.
Indeed!
You will always be welcome here. You are a true hero who has shown true valiance to my people. I thank you and hope that the gods smile on your journeys.
Well, thank you very much.
Greetings to you. I'm Lady Lilith Lorexel, the head of the noble family that founded this town long, long ago. I am pleased to make your acquaintance.
Yeah, right.
It is pleasing to know that there are heroes of real metal here in Trademeet, ones with both courage and ability. As it so happens, I have need of such people.
Is that right? Well, I'm willing to hear what you have to say. Regardless of how much Toby doesn't like nobles in general, Nalia being the rare exception, of course. They do pay well, so we have to at least hear what she has to say.
Please, if you are interested in the reward for performing such a task, do come and speak to me at my mansion. I look forward to seeing you there.
Lorexel or Lady Lilith's manor. Righty-ho, I'll pay her a visit.
I see that vicious harpy has already pounced upon you. Ignore whatever she says. She is a conniving witch and a liar. I am Lord Scummy and Ali Bakar, and it is my family that founded Trademeet, not hers. So I greet you in the name of the town's premier family. No doubt Lady Lilith has asked you to perform a service for her. I happen to need the same service done. So I ask that you come to see me in my home so that we may discuss it further. If you are foolish and work for the Loraxals, however, you will not be welcome in my home. Think carefully on this.
Lovely.
I'm
Political
sorry they chose to involve
dispute.
you in their schemes. The Loraxals and the Alibakars are old and powerful families here, and they have been feuding for generations.
Great. I don't suppose you happen to know what this service is? Or could tell me anything more about the people in question? I do like to make informed decisions when I can. So I wouldn't want to just go into this blind and choose by flipping a coin or some such.
Be careful in your dealings with them, that's all I can say. I have here a reward that the town merchants have gathered for you.
Don't forget to go and see the statues that have been conjured in your image. They're in the center of town, at the fountain. And that's...
We are all heroes.
endangered
You and Boo and I,
remember the heroes
hamsters
that
and
are
rangers
Minsk
everywhere,
and Boo
rejoice!
Oh my god, Minsk talking over Minsk. That was a bit bonkers. But 10,000 gold for that, for helping out the merchants. So we got essentially about 17,000 gold from that whole thing. Oh my fucking god, that was just amazing. Coming here was so worth it. This has to have been one of the most profitable ventures we've been on so far. Sorry, Nalia, but you're no longer the most generous mission patron that our group has ever worked for. Yes, Minsk, right you are. Only good things will come from the examples as we set, because Toby does like to be a good person and set good examples where he can, even if we don't always succeed at that. And we do kind of like Minsk, as bonkers and out there as he is. Yes, lead evil by example, and one day we need no longer put the boots to those that stray off the path of goodness into the muck and bile of villainy and track great bloody footprints across our lily white tiles. Boo will have clean wood shavings, you evil bastards. Okay, I'm just going to back away slowly as Minsk rambles on again.
Yes? Of course.
And apparently we know precisely bugger all about these two noble families who have been asking for our help. That's unfortunate. I would have liked
so
to
happy.
have done... I would have liked to have decided when we had more information.
Well met and welcome.
Please, my lord, may I speak to you? Of course, speak up. My name is Jenny, and I come to you on behalf of my son Tyrus. He is very frightened, my lord. Too frightened to even leave our home. Please, you are such a hero of this town. I beg you to come to speak to him. See what has frightened him so, and perhaps help him. I will help if I can. Where is he? Well, thank the gods you are so merciful. Tyrus is at our home, the one just north of the Ali Bakar estate. Please come as soon as you are able to. I so despair seeing him like this. So it would appear that we are not yet done in Trademeet. There are certain affairs that are going to acquire our attention.
I had not thought such a thing possible.
We're not quite done here. We have certain things still that require our attention. And a couple of these estate people. We have a couple of nobles that want our help, but we know precisely bugger all about
Just like I thought it would be.
them or their
Helping
motives or
others
anything.
and doing good things.
But
I never saw much of the cities from
we're
the
going to
circus.
go and deal with this
So surrounded like
kid
this?
that needs help and such first. And as you can see right there, there's statues of our group scattered about, which is very nice of them. And quite the ego booster for Toby, to be sure.
Oh, yes.
And that would be Tyrus back there, apparently, so... Let's deal with this.
Just as I
Well
thought.
met and welcome.
You speak to Tyrus, find out what is wrong with him. Okay. Let's see if we can't get a few answers.
Good day to you.
Oh, you are one of the heroes everyone is talking about, aren't you? Stop the druids and the genies. Maybe you could help me. It's all so terrible, I hardly know where to begin. My love, Raisa, and I, we were coming home 2 days ago, not far from here. It was late, and I heard a strange noise come out of the shadows. I thought perhaps it was another attack by the animals, but a large man leapt out of the darkness at me and knocked me out. I remember nothing until I woke up. When I did, I saw a man tying Raisa to a chair. He was the one who had leapt at me. I stirred as my head ached, and I was not immediately aware that someone else was in the room. I suppose the other must have heard me because he approached. I saw him, my lord. I turned and I saw him. He was a man, or a creature that looked like a man, but he had no skin. Ugh. I'm sorry, but just the idea of someone with no skin walking up to you makes me cringe, and Toby as well. For all the stuff he's seen, that has to be one of the most revolting images ever. It really does. All I saw was his muscles and sinew. He hissed a dreadful sound and tried to grab me. I was frightened and I leapt back, barely out of his reach. The man by Raisa yelled at him to grab me, and the skinless creature shouted back at him, angry, and I fled as quickly as I could. I heard someone running behind me, but I didn't dare look. I heard it shout behind me once. It said it would get me, that it would find me, and when I stopped running eventually, I didn't hear it anymore. I came here to hide, my lord. I am frightened to go out. What manner of creature could this be? What kind of magic would create a horror such as this? I don't know who to turn to. The militia. They can do nothing against such a creature, I am sure. And I feel so ashamed. I left my Raisa behind, left her to die. Please, my lord, will you help me? Will you find my Raisa and bring her back to me? Well, I will certainly try, but I need more information. Thank you, my lord. I am very grateful. You could do whatever you can. As for more information, well, let me think. A skinless creature did say the name of the man with the knife. He shouted it when the man told the creature to grab me. He called the man Regic. Regic, are you sure? Yes, sir, very sure. Why? Do you know that name? This is the evil killer who takes skins that do not belong to him. We have discovered him, Toby. We must take the boot heel to his ways. Oh no. You must find Raisa soon. If he has not already killed her. No, I should have saved her when I had the chance. I should have tried. Please, the creature brought me to the woods near the southwest gate. Go there, I beg you, and find out what has become of her. Perhaps this man and his creature yet remain there. Yeah, Regic, if you remember. Regic was...
You need. Onward, then.
He was a tanner in Azkatla. And we found him when we were investigating some murders in the docks, and we pieced together a bunch of different evidence, and it transpired that he had been killing people and skinning them there. We confronted him, but he managed to escape, and apparently he's found himself a new hideaway. So we'll be going to deal with that soon. But Aerie needs to level up now. She gets a bunch of spells off of it. Well, I say a bunch. 1 level 2 spell and 1 level 5 spell, 2 hit points and 3 lore. Well, for Aerie, considering that she is a cleric mage, as opposed to being like a warrior or a paladin or something, 2 hit points is actually not so bad for a mage, considering that she's supposed to be a long-range type person.
Ready and able to the task at hand.
Have I told you of how I was captured and enslaved initially?
Aerie, I would really rather not be having this conversation here, but I suppose we might as well, as we were literally just heading out the door and she decided to ambush us with this. This is one of the things that kind of irritates me with the banter dialogue in Baldur's Gate 2. Just the timing is so horrendously bad sometimes. If she just waited until we were out the door, that would have been fine. No, Aerie, you have not. It was my fault, really. I was away from Fania Dale, flying just for the glory of it. I spotted a large group of armed men assaulting some humans on the ground below. They were slavers, although I didn't know that at the time. When I saw a human child crying and desperately trying to run away from them, my heart clenched with concern. I was distraught. My mother had always warned me to be wary of outsiders, but I did not heed her warnings this time. I flew down to aid the child, swooping to carry him away. The child was surprised and frightened, and his struggles slowed me, enough so that a slaver struck me with an arrow. I plummeted to the ground and was knocked unconscious. When I awoke, I was in my cage. I was the prize of the slavers, to be sold to the highest bidder. They were pleased to sell me to the circus for a great amount of gold. I suppose I was glad to learn that the child escaped after all. He ran away after my fall. Hopefully he survived. Yes, honestly, what else could you have done, Aerie? It's not your fault that it turned out so badly. I mean, to be honest, in that situation, Toby probably would have done the same thing, because even with how he's become a bit more untrusting and cynical thanks to the whole Irenicus thing, Toby is still a bit of a noble idiot, if I'm being honest, so he would have done the same sort of thing, honestly. It is, though. It was foolish of me to disregard my teachings, and I paid for it dearly. I was bereft of my home, and then my wings, Toby. I am glad that Quail yet lived, and I have found you, Toby. Perhaps the gods have begun to forgive my... Well, this is an interesting turn of events. The skinning bastard from the docks district has returned, and is apparently up to his old tricks in this area. So, I think we're going to have to pay him a visit. If nothing else, because leaving someone like that free and not suffering punishment for his crimes is not something Toby is willing to do. Not at all.